Hello and welcome to Scarytown, the Goosebumps review show. Today we're going to be reviewing Slappy New Year. Slappy New Year is about two brothers, Ray and Brandon, and what happens when they bring home Slappy the dummy and he crashes their New Year's party. So what did I like about Slappy New Year? I would say as far as the story, everything feels really connected, the plot flows really well. It's still a fairly predictable story as far as previous stories. I can't even remember how many Slappy the Dummy books are out there. There's still more that I haven't even read yet. But this one pretty much delivers on everything that you expect from a Slappy Goosebumps story. There's a part, of course, where Slappy is at a party and the main character, Ray, is kind of forced to be in the spotlight. Like, everyone's like, you brought this ventriloquist dummy to the party, so we want you to put on an act. And then Slappy just kind of hurls insults at some adults, and it's pretty hilarious. It's a lot of fun. I've always found that to be like the most entertaining part of Slappy's story. Is just kind of him, just kind of making fun of people, and just kind of it digs into that part of everyone's brain where like you don't want to be like say anything bad about people, and just kind of lets loose and just roasts people, and it's pretty fun. And there's a lot of great action at the very end of the story. There's this big battle with Slappy and the brothers. This is like around like Christmas, and it's like snow everywhere, and they're fighting Slappy out in the snow, and it's just they're struggling to like on the fly like figure out like how do we stop this guy, because they don't, they're just kind of forced into a situation where they need to deal with him and get rid of him. And it's a lot of fun. There's a part where Slappy grabs Ray and like lifts him over his head and then like throws him, and it's over the top, like, and I don't even remember Slappy having that kind of strength before. And it's kind of a little bit unbelievable that the dummy would have this kind of power, and why hasn't he done this before? But it's just hilarious. Just like picturing that in my mind. And there's also a part where like Slappy Ray sees this in slow motion, and Slappy like slowly like backhands Ray's father like on the forehead and just like knocks him out cold. It's like in one hit, and just just picturing that in my mind, it was just hilarious. And I just like the story arc of Brandon starting out as this coward at the beginning of the story. They're at Horrorland, and the sole reason why Ray wanted to bring Slappy home is to scare Brandon, and throughout the story he's scared like multiple times by Brandon with Slappy, and then eventually when Ray really needs his help, Brandon finds the courage to help his brother, and together they defeat Slappy. So it's just really good. It's just a very, very simple kind of story arc, but it's just really effective, and it just works. So what I like about Slappy New Year, it's pretty much a pretty predictable story. We've already seen this kind of deal where Slappy frames the main character and nobody believes him, and this gets him into trouble. And the whole thing of the reader already knowing that Ray was reading some of the magic words to bring Slappy to life, he didn't speak the very last word, and we're supposed to believe that that was good enough. Like, he even says that in the story, like, I didn't say the very last word, maybe that was good enough to bring Slappy to life. And it's like, it's kind of hard to believe that Slappy is actually alive and doing all this stuff when we know that the last magic word was not spoken, so there's no way he could possibly be alive. So it certainly doesn't really ruin the story too much, because it's still pretty fun. And another part I didn't like is Ray and Brandon and their family go to this Christmas party at Elena's house. Elena is good friends with their family, and they invite him over. And after Slappy hurls insults at her family and gets him in trouble, as about to leaving, Slappy like bites Ray's nose, like clamps down it, and then it causes his nose to bleed. And at this point, like, they still don't believe that Slappy is real, and so they think like he hurt himself on purpose, and it just seems kind of a little hard to believe that he would do this to himself just to get a laugh out of it, or I don't know. It's just at this point you're just like, okay, it's just it doesn't make any sense. But then you're like, I'm just gonna just run with it, and this, because it's pretty much almost the end of the story anyway. So it's just like, okay, fine, just move on. But it just kind of bothered me a little bit. So, closing thoughts. Slappy New Year is pretty much by the numbers as far as a Slappy Goosebumps story. It doesn't do a whole lot as far as a majority of the book. We've already seen a lot of the stuff that is done, and it doesn't really do all that much to really stand out from the other Goosebumps stories that Slappy's been in. But it definitely, the payoff at the end where there's the battle with the brothers against Slappy in the snow, and then the New Year's party is a lot of fun. Just this chaos, and it's just a lot of fun, and it really does feel like a horror kind of story, like Child's Play with Chucky, where like there's the final battle against him, and it's just really fast paced and hectic, and there's a lot of stuff going on. There's like a lot of the story where you have to actually get to that part, and it's just kind of, it's nothing we haven't already seen before and done better in other Goosebumps Slappy stories, like the insults at the holiday party where Slappy's insulting Elena's parents. That's a lot of fun, but it's like very small. Like, we've seen extended scenes where Slappy's insulting people, and the insults are a lot better done. So I would probably like recommend this. I mean, it's a Slappy Goosebumps book, and of course you're going to read it anyways. It's certainly not the best Goosebumps Slappy story, but it's not the worst, and it's pretty solid in itself. There's a really good payoff at the end, so it's definitely worth reading. But it's not something that I would be clamoring for, like, oh, I gotta read this. So if you enjoyed Slappy and the other stories, you're gonna enjoy him in this. Just kind of set your expectations a little bit low, because it doesn't do too much to really rise above the other Goosebumps Slappy stories. So that's Slappy New Year. What's your favorite Slappy the Dummy story? There's a couple that I haven't read myself, so you might mention one that I haven't read before, so that'd be one for me to pick again. So we'll see. And next time I'm going to cover the very last Goosebumps Horrorland book to finish off this series and finally see what happens at the very end. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.